Spring is here with one of the highlights of the season, sights and sounds from the Paddy Hough Parade. Plus, sparks fly at Fort Vancouver High School, how welding students are getting valuable experience and saving taxpayers a lot of money, and a state title for a high school bowler.
I was really in the zone.
And you won't believe how high her score was in a record-setting performance.
Yeah!
An annual tradition hits Main Street, Vancouver. The Paddy Hough Parade thrills the crowd. Hello and welcome to In the Know. I'm Coleen Nelson. For the 22nd year, Hough Elementary School celebrates the legacy of its namesake for St. Patrick's Day. Student reporter Haley Fromm and student videographer Dylan Wills have more from the parade.
The weather is perfect. It never rains during the parade.
The Hough community prepares for the Paddy Hough Parade, and Mother Nature cooperates just in time for spring.
The skies are blue and it's time to start summertime events.
And I think this is the warmest it's been in a couple of years.
With the nice sun out today, it makes it really special.
Every year, various organizations and just about every student at Hough march in the parade. Participants anxiously wait for the event to begin.
We come every year and we just tag along behind everybody else.
Have you ever participated in the parade before?
Yeah.
I haven't. This is my first time in a parade.
It is a beautiful day for the parade, and it's starting right now, so let's take a look. The Paddy Hough Parade means a lot to the Hough neighborhood.
It's history, and it's appreciating education, businesses, partnerships, and it's just a big time for us all.
With all of the marching bands, old cars, and classrooms all rolling down Main Street, there's something for everyone. What's your favorite part of the parade?
The train.
What do you like about the train?
It's so cool about the whistle and the bell.
My favorite part was the really old cars.
My favorite part was when Chester the cheetah came by because I love Cheetos.
Looks like it was a great day for the parade today. For In the Know, I'm Haley Fromm.
If you missed the parade, you're in luck. The Vancouver Public Schools TV studio produced a half-hour special from the parade route. See all the bands, students, and of course classic cars. It's available on Comcast Channel 29 and also at youtube.com/vansdtv. A Skyview bowler wins the state championship in spectacular fashion.
From Skyview with a score of 1,224.
Junior Madison Crockett is the Class 4A champion. She took home the title at the Narrows Plaza Bowl in University Place. Her score of 1,324 in 6 games was the highest ever in the history of the state competition. She knew she was in the lead heading into the last game, but that didn't prepare her for the thrill of victory.
It felt really great. It felt amazing. I was super excited and I was super happy, and just a whole bunch of wonderful feelings just came and overwhelmed me at once. And I really didn't know how to react at first, but then it just kind of hit me and I just took it all in at once.
Madison's average over the tournament was a stunning 220 per game. To put it in perspective, a perfect game in bowling is a score of 300, so for most of us, 220 would be a career high, not just an average. Madison is hoping to bowl in college and has already begun to look at schools. She hopes to major in information and science technology. The bowling team at Columbia River High School also takes home a championship, this one for academics. The ladies won the Class 2A-3A academic title with a team GPA of 3.41. This is the third time in the last 5 years that River has won the team academic title. A Skyview student takes her science fair entry to the next level. Senior Rebecca Lehman built a big wind turbine for the International Science and Engineering Fair. She began work on it back in October. The turbine isn't allowed to be hooked up to the school's electricity system for safety reasons, but if it were, it would be putting power right back into the grid. The 4-blade turbine sends electricity down to the base where there's a battery pack.
And then once the battery gets charged, it will go off into the dummy load, which is 150 watts, so it has enough to go into.
And I got an inspiration from one of my teachers who's building wind turbines in his class, and so that's how it started. And now we've been just researching a lot of ideas, and then we got to this and we started going through how we were going to actually help it with the school.
This turbine is much larger than the ones she saw in class. It's held down with wires and weights. You can see the scale of the project, and it's not small, and it wasn't cheap either. Rebecca raised the $600 it took to build with an online campaign. Rebecca is part of Skyview's Science, Math, and Technology Magnet program. She was one of more than 100 students to compete in the SMT's annual Tech Day. Students had just one day to build a device that would roll down a ramp, fly across a gap, land on a grind rail, and stop in a landing zone. After a morning of planning, building, and testing, students had a chance to try out the real thing right after lunch. They quickly discovered it wasn't going to be easy.
It was pretty challenging. I mean, it's hard to get everything right and have everything come together perfect. So,
in addition to the task, students earned points for showing good teamwork and a sense of humor. If you want to see how the student projects turned out for yourself, just tune into Science. This Emmy-nominated show produced by Vancouver Public Schools goes in-depth on Tech Day. The show, like the challenge itself, has a James Bond theme. And you can see Science at youtube.com/VanSDTV or on Comcast Channel 28 as part of the VPS Power Half Hour. The district's horticulture programs needed heavy-duty metal tables. They're not cheap, so the school district had to find a good deal on them. In stepped the welding program at Fort Vancouver High School.
This is the first station of making the tables for the horticulture classes.
There was a commercial product available that the district looked at, and then they came to me and they said, "What do you think of this?" And I said, "Well, I can do better than this. My guys are doing all the assembly, I'm doing the shipping myself, so the district is saving a whole lot of money."
Basically, what they're doing right now is lining them up, measuring them out with the measuring tape, taking chalk, marking them either 4 feet or 8 feet, 4 feet for the legs and 8 feet for the perimeter. They bring it up in here, put it in this little slot. They've got a little foot pedal down here when they're ready to. They just press the foot pedal and it cuts the metal in half. And then we move over to the second part over here. Now they're just finishing up the welds on this to make sure it's sturdy. Step 3, pretty much, it takes 2 people, get the mesh aligned with the table, and then take a welder, a MIG welder, and just start welding, not the edges, but every 5th. Step 4 over here with Kaylee. This is where they're welding, or they're grinding everything that might cut whoever's using the table, little pieces, that kind of thing.
So our final step to all this process is to take these and put them on a truck and send them down to Tualatin, Oregon, where they have a vat of molten zinc about the size of an Olympic swimming pool at about 800 something degrees, and they drop it into this molten swimming pool, and as they slowly pull them out, it coats all of these with hot molten zinc. And that gives these pretty much a lifetime of durability. My welding kids are getting a very relevant set of skills, getting to build a useful product that's going to outlive us easily. That's pretty cool for a high school metals program.
Forward welding!
The money the district paid for the tables will allow the welding program to purchase new tools for the students to use on future projects. Local elementary students add and subtract their way to a championship. Fifth graders from Truman Elementary win the top prize at the annual Math is Cool regional tournament at Skyview High School. Truman was one of many schools from around our area to compete, including Roosevelt Elementary, who finished in second place. The competition includes a mental math challenge, time tests, and a math relay. Roosevelt's Lily Boyer-Quick won the top individual prize and qualified for the state competition in May. Thanks to smartphones and social networks, the job of teaching students to be safe and responsible citizens must now extend beyond the classroom. WeLearn correspondent Mark Ray shows us how teachers and students are standing up against cyberbullying.
Bullying is bullying, whether it happens on the playground or online. Two innovative programs in Vancouver Public Schools are teaching students digital citizenship and how to keep themselves safe online.
Cyberbullying and bullying is a real thing.
Students at Minnehaha Elementary are learning the basics of cyberbullying.
Really, it's just bullying. It just happens to be using technology.
Teacher librarian Laura Day shows students the different ways that people can hurt each other online.
Harassment is sending mean and cruel messages over and over.
And she gives them options if they feel threatened.
Knowing what to do if anything does happen. Telling your parents or your guardians about someone cyberbullying you is good because they can probably put a stop to it.
Just as importantly, Ms. Day helps the kids recognize that their own online behavior matters.
If you go on the computer and you're mad, you can bully other people without even knowing it. And it hurts not only yourself, but other people.
Do the words you say affect people in a harmful way or a helpful way?
Over at Alki Middle School, students in Abby Harris's drama class helped their classmates understand cyberbullying in an assembly, which they wrote themselves.
In their lives, cyberbullying is a big deal. It's not part of my life, but it is a big part of theirs.
Getting students and adults to realize the extent of online bullying is part of the challenge, especially since many of us have never experienced it firsthand.
Don't assume that you understand the student of the 21st century. They need to tell you what they're feeling, and because I'm from the 80s, and our form of bullying was very different.
Listen to the students, and they'll tell you what's happening now.
Since I was experiencing bullying, it kind of shows the students, well, it is kind of true that actually happens. People gossip a lot.
Since cyberbullying isn't face-to-face, it's easier to fall into, so the burden falls onto individuals to do the right thing.
I hope students will really take this into action, stop bullying.
In addition to the Safe and Supportive Schools initiative, teacher librarians are developing a digital citizenship curriculum for all students. The goal is simple: to ensure that all students are safe, productive, and successful citizens, both online and off. For In the Know, I'm Mark Ray.
Thanks, Mark. And to see more examples of technology in action, just check out our WeLearn archive on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/VanSDTV and click on the WeLearn playlist. Students at iTech Preparatory are national semifinalists for a project that combines science and video production.
The 351-acre campus includes 2 ponds, acres of forest, and Mill Creek, providing us with a living laboratory as we explore science, technology.
The students competed in a contest sponsored by Samsung. They submitted a project that they'd been working on and studying the effects of the WSU Vancouver campus on nearby Mill Creek. iTech Prep was one of 75 schools out of the nearly 1,600 schools that entered to be named a semifinalist. Samsung sent AV equipment, and the students produced a video demonstrating their project.
It was a great opportunity for the kids to develop, some kind of real-world application of what they've been doing, and also, the maturity and dedication they show when they started working on this and creating that video was pretty amazing.
In the end, the students finished just outside the winner's circle. They hope to expand their water project next year to include Mount St. Helens and may enter the contest again. To see their video, just stay tuned after this episode of In the Know. School isn't just about learning reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's also about developing life skills. Thanks to a partnership, students at Harney Elementary are getting experience in the classroom and the kitchen. Nick Vole serves up our story.
It's not as easy as you'd think to crack an egg.
Sometimes you make it too hard and then it just comes out like I did it on accident.
These second and third graders at Harney Elementary are getting hands-on cooking lessons.
We're also tying it into a healthy message, so it's not just making cookies, puddings, pizza, those kinds of things. That they've been asking about those, but we're making other things, and they're finding that they're tasting and trying new foods, and so they're being food explorers.
Dietitian Jendi Newman is leading this pilot program, a joint effort between Peace Health and Vancouver Public Schools. The goal is to fight childhood obesity by teaching kids about using fresh ingredients instead of packaged foods.
They're relying on convenience and pre-prepared food that is higher in salt, fat, and sugar, and so they're not eating as healthy. They're not getting as many nutrients. They're not getting real food. They're getting processed food.
The kids seem to get the message.
If you don't use that much of healthy ingredients, you might get a little sick because when you have too much like sugar and stuff.
That's right. Today, students learn to make a kid-friendly breakfast, oatmeal pancakes and eggs.
They're so good and I love pancakes.
Volunteers guide the students through the meals, one cracked egg at a time.
There you go. You can just,
okay, this is just awkward.
That's okay. You got it. Sometimes cracking eggs is a little messy.
And they're just, just the perfect age for learning in the kitchen and everything, and so it's a real joy working with these kids.
The kids are discovering that cooking doesn't have to be a chore.
Really fun indeed.
But not surprisingly, preparing the food isn't their favorite part.
What's fun about it is that you get to eat after, and it's really delicious.
For In the Know, I'm Nick Vole.
The Junior Chef program takes place after school at Harney. The plan is to take the curriculum to other schools in the future. Sometimes the eggs at Harney aren't just hard to crack, they're green. Harney and every other elementary school in Vancouver participated in the annual Green Eggs and Ham Breakfast. Parents come in to eat a morning meal with their children and celebrate the joy of reading. Of course, the Green Eggs and Ham Breakfast is based on the classic Dr. Seuss book, which is why you see so many funny hats here. The food was provided by Beach's Restaurant, which also supports this event. And that just about does it for us. You can see past episodes of In the Know on our YouTube page, and that is youtube.com/VanSDTV. Thanks for watching In the Know. I'm Coleen Nelson.